You guys just talking, just shooting the breeze.
Oh no, bro, we're going live.
Where is Wait, let me go to your channel. Let me go.
It's called Is Togashi the best mangaka?
No.
Oh, okay, I got
All
you.
time?
Oh,
No, no.
all
no,
time,
no.
nah. I mean,
no way.
If we had to do like a top 5 for me, like
You'd probably be in the top 5.
yeah, he'd be in like the top 5.
Well, guess what?
It's hard.
We live, baby.
Nah.
It's all Gucci. What's good, folks? I am joined with you with two wonderful people. One by the name of Orpheus and one by the name of the Black Manga Critic. And it
What
is
up?
Liddy. And we're going to have an interesting topic of conversation today. We're going to talk about who we believe. I said, is Togashi the best mangaka? And the reason why I said that is because we had the anime March Madness, right, over on Dustin Reacts channel. And the finals ended up being both of the mangas created by this man. It was Yu Yu Hakusho versus Hunter x Hunter. And I was like, wow, the fact that we ended up getting to this point was like, he must just be a great writer. But I'm gonna see what these guys have to feel about that. How do you feel about Togashi? Is he the best? Is he the GOAT?
No. He's not the GOAT. He's the GOAT in shonen. He's not the GOAT. He's not the best mangaka of all time. But he's the best shonen mangaka of all time. Yeah. I haven't read JoJo though, or Full Metal Alchemist, so I can't.
JoJo's pretty good, but I think the thing with that, right, is like the reason why I wouldn't sort of put like why can't I remember the name of the manga for JoJo? Like I don't know why his name escapes me right now.
Araki. His
name is
Araki, something Araki.
Right, like I don't think Araki is best. I mean, because it's like it's one piece of work. You know what I mean? Like I think like if you're gonna be the best mangaka of all time, you have to at least have 2 works that are like fantastic. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have at least 2, I can't put you on. I can't put you on.
Okay, I can feel that. And that's why I put Togashi up there, because he's got 2 of those bad boys.
No,
which we love.
Yeah, true. Both of them. Those are the top 3 shonen of all time. Those are in my top 3.
Actually, hold up. We're gonna pause because we're not gonna pause. Okay, my bad. The computer's acting stupid. Now we're back to it. But yeah, there's so many up and coming people. Obviously, like we got the Promised Neverland. Like I think, which is phenomenal. Every single week to week to week, Kyle Shirai. Is that how you pronounce it? Kyle?
It's probably Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, like
but I go with
kicking ass every single week. It's very rare that I find a manga where there's not one bad chapter. I haven't had a single bad chapter. Have you guys?
Of Promised Neverland? No.
Yeah, not like a bad chapter. Like
maybe slower.
Okay, there's been average ones when they were like the kids were like bathing and shit, but there hasn't been bad ones.
Like it's like, and then we can talk about the lowest of the lows, who have bad endings. TJ Kubo. Like, and then like guys like that who want to have shit endings, even though they did pretty well all throughout.
Yeah.
But, and like Togashi is like, and it's funny because Hunter x Hunter, hiatus x hiatus, isn't even done yet. Probably not even that close to being done, you know. But we rated up there as one of the top of the top. Like, think if he wasn't taking hiatuses, and we have about 150 more chapters of this.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be like, bah, like straight up ghost status.
Yeah.
Like it's so dope, and like I talked about this with you before, Black Man Career. I love Yu Yu Hakusho.
No, yeah, fact. I mean, same. I mean, like this is the anime. I put it over Hunter x Hunter, 2011. Like I do. And that's just because I feel like in a sense, like Togashi like really sticks with what he sort of presented from like sort of the onset, from the sort of very kind of beginning. Like he has these 4 characters, and in Yu Yu Hakusho, he sticks with them to the end. And like with Hunter x Hunter, it's like Leorio just kind of fades a bit. Like he's still involved in some ways, but not in the same way that big. You know what I mean? And I love Leorio. Leorio's like my favorite out of the 4. You know what I mean? But I just feel like Togashi does a better job with like sort of writing out that story while making sure that all those protagonists, like, because it's 4 protagonists, like all of them are extremely involved and at the forefront all the time.
100%. Even though it's very much Kurapika focused right now.
Yeah.
It is.
So for me, that's why I kind of put Yu Yu over Hunter x Hunter 2011, and particularly the anime, right? Because 2011 doesn't cover any of the Dark Continent at all or anything like that. You know what I mean? So Yu Yu's complete. So I think that's important. Like if you have a complete like story, and it's like a fabulous story, yeah, then that trumps anything that's like not necessarily complete and like still has a long way to go and stuff like that. So
it's interesting that you say that, because there's so many people that love Kishimoto for Naruto, and Naruto's like one of their favorite mangas of all time. And you think about what you said, like you got the 4 protagonists, and he's been sticking with them through thick and thin. But you thought there were gonna be like 9 protagonists, right? With the original Leaf getting.
Oh yeah.
When you're in Naruto, and they just completely fade to darkness.
Trash.
they fade to darkness big time.
Neji was trash.
Oh, that was so, and it was so unnecessary.
So many of them were trash.
It was just such a nonsensical thing to do, especially because you could have killed 10-10, you could have killed somebody.
Killed Kiba, you could have killed Chino.
What's the difference though? They all suck. They were all pretty terrible. So like you wouldn't have felt anything either. Anything.
No, but Neji, I think was a better choice, like in like I guess like objective sense, because
he had a fight.
He impacted Naruto. Like Naruto impacted him, I think, more than like most of like those original sort of like 9 games, right outside of like Sakura and Sasuke.
I agree with that. Even when we go back to them as Genin, and like he changed Neji's entire perspective on life.
Yeah.
Sasuke retrieval arc is one of the best arcs in Shonen.
Ooh.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That was the best arc. That's the best arc in Naruto.
Seeing them all get their shine.
Yep.
That's the best arc in the fucking story.
Yeah, I agree.
Naruto Part 1 is full. It doesn't have a bad arc. Every arc is like 8 out of 10 or above.
Yeah, every arc is solid. Like it does, and the progression makes sense. Like it's like, oh, I get what you're trying to do here. Like every arc does like prepares them for what's coming up, for what's coming next. It's not like, oh, this arc's just put here because we want to see some cool stuff happen. It's like everything builds upon the thing that came before it. I like that. Like I want to see that. If I don't see that, like especially in a shonen, battle shonen, like if I don't see that like progression and like an arc building on the arc that came before it, like to me it's like trash.
Like in Bleach, how like nothing is coded.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
like Bleach.
No, I don't want to hate on Bleach because Bleach is one of my favorites.
I like Bleach, but we cannot ever go past the fact that ending was absolute basura.
Godly.
Basura. It was so bad.
Your arc arc is great so much though.
For that to happen really upset me. But and it's like, and I want to know you guys' point of view about what you guys think like is so crucial to like what puts these mangakas that we love so much above the other ones. Like, obviously, a big thing for me is world building, and that's one reason I love Oda, because his world building is phenomenal, and his sense of adventure that he gives you really are immersed in the story.
No, yeah, I feel like and this is me like saying like it's like a big sort of thing, but like I don't think I've ever seen. And I've read like a lot of like, I've read a lot of stuff like, that has like world building, sci-fi, fantasy, stuff like that.
You're much more versed than I am. I will say that.
You know what I mean? Like Oda, like the world building that he does, and it's not even like the like size of the world, you know what I mean, or anything like that. It's like the ways in which like everything's sort of connected.
Yeah, like things are kept relevant.
You know what I mean? Like when you're looking at one particular space. You're like constantly thinking about all the other spaces and how they're going to be affected and how all those people are going to be affected and stuff like that. And like other sort of fantasy and like maybe in sci-fi and stuff like that, where there's like clearly a lot of world building, that might not necessarily be the case. Usually it's like, oh, well, these two warring states, these two states might be at war or something like that. And it doesn't affect every single like country and every single little like island and everything like that. But like One Piece is consistent in that. It's like when something happens in that one space, like it affects the entire, like it affects like the entire world as we know it.
It's crazy. Like somebody, like we were in Whole Cake and Pedro blew himself up, right? And someone would be like, "Oh my God, how's that gonna affect Wano?" And everybody's like, "What?"
Yep.
They tie in so much. Like, "Oh my God, how are we gonna get to the Reverie?" Like, what do you mean get to the Reverie? We're just talking about surviving right now.
Yeah. It's like, huh? No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Fine. Go ahead.
It's like when, like, it's like right, like I could be super critical. I can go in and like critique One Piece, but like the one thing I've never like critiqued, is like Oda's world building, because I don't think there's anything there to be like, oh, he didn't do this. Mm-hmm. Like this didn't make a lot of sense. I'm like, no, like the world building is fire. Like I've never not been a fan of that.
I will agree. I agree. I have never once come into question.
How can you?
Yeah. He does a damn good job. Hey, I agree, John Boy. Bleach did have the #1 OSTs. That is factual.
Bleach's adaptation is the best.
That's factual.
Best animation, best OST.
It was cool. They had amazing OSTs.
The best fillers.
Naruto certainly had the worst fillers. I'll tell you that.
I gotta think about that. Like
the Zanpakuto arc.
Yeah, that was good.
The Ray guy.
That was good. The bound, even the Bound arc was really good.
Yeah.
I remember when I was watching that, and I was like, "Yo."
The beach, even some of the slice of life stuff in Bleach was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the beach episode was nice.
Yeah, a lot of the Cone stuff.
Funny. Yeah, Cone is a fucking goat, bro.
Funny stuff.
Cone's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about what other aspects do we for. Obviously, everyone likes seeing battles. It's battle.
Characterization.
Oh,
yeah. That's
Character development is a huge one. Character development is a big one. So that's one thing, and I know you're gonna like probably go off with the bit, Orpheus, that I love about Horikoshi.
No, I wasn't gonna do that actually.
No, you're gonna be like, woo! But like, one thing I love about him is that he does a really good job of it. Like every other arc, we just see more and more of Bakugo learning and becoming better. And like, yes, he's a dickhead. We know that, but he's starting to become more of a compassionate dickhead. And he thinks. He really does. I think it's cool about him. Like when he got captured by All For One in the gang, that was awesome. That he's finding out that like he doesn't now have evil in his heart. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? No, not at all.
Yeah, and that was cool because it's like, and that's like where it's like super clear that Horikoshi understood how people perceived Bakugo.
Exactly.
And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to like slam this in your face. Like, no, like this is not what I'm doing with this character. Like, this is what you might think I should do with this character, or what you might want me to do with this character, or whatever. But this is what I'm doing with this character. Like, Bakugo like wants to be a hero. Period.
Through and through.
Yo, John Boy brought it up in the chat. I forgot about that. Bleach has the best fights in the big three.
Oh, we talking about Naruto? Oh, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Yeah,
Bleach had the best fights.
I don't know if I can agree.
Are we talking about the anime? We talking about the anime?
In the manga, and the manga.
I don't know. There was some good ass choreography in Naruto.
I mean,
the action in Bleach fights was fucking insane.
Okay, so
if you're looking for action and just like a fucking, and you just want to see shit blow up, come on, bro.
Now, action-wise, Bleach, Bleach haven't had.
If we're gonna talk action-wise, nothing's beating that Soul Society.
Nah, nothing. Even like, even just like nonsense, like like Ichigo stopping the fucking
the Sokyoku.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, but like even that was like super hype. You know what I mean?
It was hype. Like, it didn't really make that much sense, but it was hype.
It was super hype. I was like, I'm rolling with it because it's super cool. It's dope.
The Aranka arc wasn't even bad.
The best girl black females ever.
Yoruichi.
Now Yoruichi is like
Yoruichi's the like objective, but I like Rukia too.
I did like Rukia.
Rukia is cool. Rukia is kind of like
she was chill.
Yeah, she was chill. She's down to earth.
Clover has great
that little running joke with her terrible drawings was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yo, people sleep on the Aranka arc of Bleach because it followed Soul Society, but the Aranka arc was great.
It was cool. I think
it had some trash, but it was still a pretty good arc.
No, it was still good. Like I still like it. It still left me
Come
entertained.
On, bro. Ichigo versus Ulquiorra and Ichigo versus Grimjow. Those are some of the best fights in Shonen, bro. Come on.
In anime,
those are fucking iconic, bro.
Anime,
come on. Yeah.
In the anime, Ulquiorra's fight with Ichigo had my jaw dropped.
It was really dope because he just got.
Everyone talks about that. Even though that is GOAT, but Ichigo versus Grimjow, the lot like round 3, that's the best fight in Bleach.
Because Ichigo went hammer. This man's like, so he already did his Resurrection, and then after that he's like, I'm gonna show you true despair, and he had a second version.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right.
The thing is, in that Ulquiorra fight, it was one-sided, and then Ichigo just got the upper hand. With the Grimjow fight, it was like they were neck and neck for a while, then Ichigo just got the upper hand. The thing is that separates that Aranka arc from the last arc of Bleach is like the Aranka arc had those iconic fights like Ichigo versus Grimjow, Ichigo versus Aizen. The last arc of Bleach didn't have because Ichigo didn't have rivals in the fucking the Quincy's. He didn't have like Quincy rivals to fight. He only got one fight, and that was at the end.
Yeah, because that entire arc was just
that would keep you going
though. To get to Bob.
Yeah, exactly. That would keep you going though, because like once Ichigo beats Grimjow, you're like, oh, okay, now he's gonna fight Ulquiorra. See how that goes, and then once he beats Ulquiorra, you're like, oh, okay, how the fuck's he gonna beat Aizen? And then, but with the last,
Kim, why would I let you into this conversation so you can shit on Togashi? Certainly not. Well, I should have known he'd say something objective. I was almost getting ready to say I almost sent him a link.
John Boy is right though. The Soul Reapers were more interesting than Ichigo's friends.
Yeah, Ichigo's friends could have been cool.
They were
Ichigo was dope. Uryu was fucking dope. It was Chad. Chad was You know, Ichigo's friends were gonna get a character like they were gonna have what's his name, Keigo and the girl Tatsuki, but then the editors were like, oh, we want to see the soul. People want to see the Soul
They completely
Reapers.
fell away from the story 100%.
Yeah. A lot of the time, it was his editors that made him do things because they thought, like, if Kubo gave like Ichigo's friends some development, it wouldn't work. So they just made him show the Soul Reapers.
Yeah,
and you know what? That might have been for the best. In all honesty,
I would have liked to see his friends get character development and get like fights and shit.
I don't know how far they could have went with that though.
Tatsuki, they could have done a lot with her. I thought she was one of my favorite characters.
The other ones just seemed like gags.
Or something like Keigo was like he was a clown.
Chad was the fucking worst, bro. Chad was so wasted. And then in the last arc of Bleach, he fought statues, bro.
Oh my god!
Remember that?
I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning of Fuego Mundo, I had a lot of promise for Chad.
Yeah.
And then it just got so bad. John Boy said he hated Orihime. I didn't hate her.
Orihime was annoying because, like, I think like there was like it was too much of Ichigo. I was like Orihime, who are you? Like, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What do you want to do? Like, I just felt like they like
Kurosaki-kun.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Orihime wasn't that bad though. In the last arc of Bleach, she had like she helped Ichigo out with the fight. Nah,
she could have been great, but what happened was they did like it was like it was almost like Aizen and sort of Kubo was using Aizen sort of like as an extension to be like, okay, I'm gonna sort of explain what I might have wanted to do with Orihime, but then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna let her, sit or chill around.
She did help though, but she could have been
against Grimjow, yeah.
And in the last arc, remember she helped Ichigo. She healed Ichigo in that last fight.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess like the thing for me was like I felt like her ability could have been so much more interesting because Aizen like hyped it up at first, and then it just kind of like, and it just went back to being a healing ability. And I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Rocket mentioned Inoue. Have you guys read Vagabond or Slam Dunk?
I haven't read either, but I know that both I know people like adore both of those.
He's the best mangaka.
Yeah, I heard it's phenomenal.
Which one? Wait, did he write both?
I haven't finished, but I've read all of Slam Dunk. I'm still reading Vagabond. I'm almost done.
Wait, did he wrote both of those?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I gotta check both of them out.
Vagabond's the best manga in my opinion. That's my favorite one.
I gotta check out both. Like I'm probably gonna start doing like some readathons for both of those.
Slam Dunk
Slam Dunk first. Slam Dunk first.
Yeah, Slam Dunk. Once you get to like those last matches, bro, it's crazy. I don't even like fucking sports, but Slam Dunk had on the edge of my seat. It was crazy.
Someone says Akira Toriyama's the GOAT.
I don't really fuck with Dragon Ball like that, to be honest with you. I respect it, but I don't really mess with it.
Yeah, I went on a rant. I went on a rant earlier.
Dragon Ball's cool as a manga. Like as a manga, it's just like a really, really super fun read. Like it's what like Dragon Ball, you could just like sit down like in a day and just read like if you just did not, like if you just did not go to sleep or you had nothing to do, you could just sit down and like read like half of that easy. You could read like 8 of those volumes like nothing, and then get through the other like 9 through 16 like just as easy. Like they just it's just a great like chill like funny.
It's entertaining.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's entertaining. It's really funny.
I know, and I always make the mistake of trying to analyze it. That's why it frustrates me, and I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like one. It's like you can, but I don't like Dragon Ball is not like yeah. Like it's funny. Like it's kind of like it's
nostalgia.
It's like a more not even that. I feel like Dragon Ball not so much because Dragon Ball Z for me is nostalgia because I don't think Dragon Ball Z is particularly incredible or anything like that. Like after looking at it again, but the nostalgia is like super strong with me for that, obviously. But like Dragon Ball is not because like I didn't watch Dragon Ball when I was like a kid. Like I came into that a bit later, and then the manga I read maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. Like I read the manga and then I just recently like bought the manga, like the volumes and then reread them and like just awesome like stuff.
I'll read the original Dragon Ball, but I probably won't read Z because I heard like the original has like adventure stuff in it. Yeah, I heard the original's really good. I don't really care about Z because I already know half the shit that goes on. So I don't really care.
But I would say
Mob Psycho. I haven't read that.
Mob Psycho's cool because Mob Psycho is like
that looks cool.
Another one that's really cool. It's funny. I like that more as a manga than the anime because like for me like I can't deal with like all the like flashing and everything like that. It's just too much for my eyes. But manga's funny. The manga's super funny. It gets real in a different way that I like. Because it's not One Punch Man. You know what I mean? One Punch Man is like very like you know what I mean? It is what it is, right? It's like it's a satire, like it does all these things. It's super funny. It's super, it does what it's supposed to do. But Mob Psycho is different. Like I think people expect like One Punch Man from Mob Psycho, and in some ways you do because it's the same like author, right? But Mob Psycho does things a bit differently.
All right,
but it's still super funny.
Hold on, Rakim, I'm letting you in the call. Do not fucking bash Togashi.
No, it's fine. I mean, if he wants to, he can.
Here we go.
I mean, but it's your call, so like if you don't want to do it.
I am God. No, I'm
exactly.
I'm joking. No, he can say whatever he wants. It's not like it's gonna objectively change my views.
All right,
Rakim, I gave it to you on Discord, so whenever you feel like it.
I actually gotta hop out because Roger's Base is doing this Shonen Jump like poll thing, and I said I was gonna go into that, so I gotta hop in that.
Yeah. I saw that.
I gotta hop into that.
Critics in the big leagues.
Yo, man,
leaving us behind, BM.
Yo, I gotta support Haikyuu and
he left the small snail boat for the rivalry boat. It's okay.
Yo, if you Rakim fan, if any of you want to have like defend Togashi stream, I'm all up for that. If you want to do that like at some point, I'll set it up. We'll have everybody in there.
Yo, what's up, guys? Coming in.
Right, let me get out here.
Togashi's a trash mangaka. Just want to let you guys know that.
He's a trash artist. I'll give you that.
No, mangaka. So, if you guys want me to explain, I could do that. But if we're talking about really good mangakas, Inoue is really good. The guy who made Slam Dunk. What he did was he's basically the Toriyama of sports mangas. Like he inspired.
No, I hear
sports manga and everything.
Amazing. I wish I would have read. I need to get on that. But I hear nothing but good things. I've never heard one person trash him.
What?
Anyway.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
What else? He's a really good artist too. That just sets him apart from everyone else. Like, you know how the Bleach artist, his art is pretty good, but his story kind of lacks, kind of gets bad later on in the story. But his art is really good. But in a way, his story is really good and his art's really good.
Virgo, have you seen Vagabond art before?
I have not.
I'll show you a picture.
I've just as you said that, I was getting ready to look up a picture.
Oh god.
The best artist though in terms of manga would probably be the guy who made
Holy
Innocent.
shit.
The guy who made Innocent is probably one of the best mangakas in terms of art.
This is extremely detailed.
Mangaka.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bro,
it's
I
like
can pronounce
every
mangaka.
fucking page.
Wow.
You need to read.
It looks like it's coming to life.
It's on indefinite hiatus though. He's been on hiatus for 9 years because he lost his
9
passion.
years?
Yeah, he lost his passion for Vagabond.
No, what happened was in those 9 years he also was writing another manga called Real.
It's called Real.
Real is also really good. It's another basketball manga, but it's about people on wheelchairs playing basketball. So it kind of gives you that aspect of basketball.
Virgo, the character development in Vagabond is like insane.
Yeah, Vagabond's character development, that's the center of Vagabond. Like
the fights too. The fights are insane, but like the symbolism, like the character development.
Yeah, fights always mean more when there's meaning behind
it. The fight, every fight has a weight behind it. It's like the main character. It's like the whole manga is about self improvement because it's based on a true story of the samurai named Miyamoto.
Virgo, you got a Discord? Am I in your Discord right now? Yeah.
Rakim? I don't know.
I am in your Discord.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are talking about Dragon Ball and Toriyama, right? And
yes,
I just want to give you guys an example of how innovative Toriyama is, not just from Dragon Ball, but talking about Dr. Slump. Now, if you guys go to general, right, in your Discord, this art, he was putting out this kind of art consistently in like 1986. Now, back then, the art was horrendous. So imagine a mangaka coming out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Imagine a mangaka coming out with this in 1986 and pushing this out consistently. So Toriyama is not just known for his Dragon Ball manga. He's highly regarded for his Dr. Slump manga. And when people when they made a top 10 list of the best mangakas in Japan, number 1 was obviously Osamu Tezuka. That's the guy. That's the god of manga, basically. And number 2 is Toriyama. Now, there's a reason they have Toriyama number 2. It's not just Dragon Ball. Like, we all know Dragon Ball, we all love it, but his art and his story is what really innovated manga and made it what it is today.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're taking the basic of sketches and then improving upon them. Yeah.
That was the first page of Dr. Slump, and it's I could show you other manga with their art back then, and you'd kind of say, "What the fuck is that art compared to this?"
What are these stick figures? But I am curious why you don't agree with Togashi.
Now with Togashi, right? A manga to me, right? It's a comic basically, right? And a comic is a story portrayed by images, right? So now you can have manga with just images and no words, and you could still have a good story, right? If you guys read Gone, that's what that is. It's just a panel by panel of just images, basically, of a little. It's called Gone. It's like a little Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's a funny manga. So
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, when I'm reading a comic, right?
Yes.
I expect the art to kind of to be the main focus of the story, whereas how the art should move the story forward. Like each panel should be one part. Each panel should show motion, basically. Like it should be easy to go from panel to panel and understand what's happening in the story. Right now, Togashi can do that, but when he puts effort into his manga, he can do that for sure, right? But in the 100x100 manga, if you read it, about I'd say 40% of the manga it's not even completed. So when I look at content, I won't say that he's the best mangaka because he doesn't push forth Like he doesn't make his manga to the best of his ability.
Yeah,
so
Apache
just said the
it's
same missing
thing,
like
and I agree with that. I agree with
that. So if you're making a manga, right, the art and the story are both equally as important, right? Now Togashi's a great storyteller. All right, he's great at making a complex story with minute details and all that stuff, right? But if you're making a manga, right, the story has to be equally as important as the art. All right. If we're considering Togashi as like as a light novelist, then yeah, you could argue that this guy's a really good light novelist, right? Because like in light novels, you have rough draft images, and then you have paragraphs upon paragraphs of explanations and details. So that's why I don't have Togashi as a really good mangaka. He's a great storyteller, but as a mangaka, he's subpar compared to every other mangaka that has great art and great story. Like Berserk, right? Berserk, the guy he does take long breaks, but even though he takes long breaks, he makes sure his art is consistent, and he makes sure his story is consistent as well, like the quality of it. So that guy's definitely a better mangaka than someone like Togashi. All right, that's my whole thing on Togashi and why he shouldn't be considered.
So you're not exactly. Yeah, I get it. You're not like bashing Togashi. I get what you mean.
He has a good argument though. I can't argue that his art is terrible.
He has a great argument. My only counter argument is that his storytelling is so good that sometimes it makes up for the lack of some of the art.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So sometimes sometimes like the art will be lacking in a panel, but he'll information dump so much that it'll blow your mind a little bit. Like, oh, that you don't even notice some of those idiosyncrasies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like the amount of detail he puts into his chapters is crazy.
Crazy.
And it all makes sense though. Like you just have to fucking read like a couple of times, you know?
Mm-hmm. Have you guys read the manga though?
Of Hunter?
Yeah, most. I've read like all the Dark Continent.
And like most people that have Togashi as the best mangaka, they haven't legitimately read the manga. What they did was they went off from the 2011 anime and they started from where it like left off, where the anime left off, and then they
can't do that.
Yeah, so like I don't take their opinion seriously if they do that, right? But at least you've read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, I 100% understand your argument, though, Rakeem. That was actually a really good argument, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and I think just to make sure there's no misunderstandings, your art doesn't have to be really amazing, right? It just has to be consistent, right? That's all I care about. Like Oda, his art isn't considered top tier within like the manga community, right? But he's pushing forth the same amount of consistency from like chapter 1 to right now. Like you can even argue it's gotten better. The art has gotten much better, right? So as long as the art is consistent and it's not rushed or it's not like a rough draft, I won't bash it. But Togashi, he can draw better than Oda, right?
I know Togashi's had his highs and he's had his mids,
but he doesn't put that effort in every single chapter. So that's where I have like my gripes with Togashi.
I agree. Instead of him putting that effort towards Monster, not Monster Hunter. What's that shit called?
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest. I almost said Monster Quest. Dragon Quest. Like, God damn it.
Have you read Monster?
I read Monster.
I have not.
You need to read Monster. You need to watch the anime.
Oh, there's an anime.
There's an anime, yeah. It's by Madhouse, the same people who did
One Punch Man. Madhouse.
But it was like it came out like 2004 or 5, so like the art style is different, but it still looks nice.
Okay.
Urasawa is also a really good mangaka.
Yeah.
But he's not your typical shonen mangaka. He writes mystery stories basically. They're basically mysteries, and they're really well done. So yeah, he's also a great mangaka. Me personally, 20th Century Boys. That story's amazing.
20th Century Boys.
It's so amazing.
I like 20th Century. I like Monster more though. 20th Century Boys.
I'm the opposite.
Monster is like the goat. I mean, Monster was my favorite, and then I read Vagabond, but Monster's like the second best.
I have a question for you guys. So, Who is your favorite seinen mangaka?
Inoue.
Okay.
Other than Inoue, let's see. I really like the Gantz mangaka. I don't know his name.
I keep hearing that name, and I have not read that.
Wait,
the Gantz,
I read. Yeah, I've read a bit. I read like the first 60 chapters, and I kind of dropped it because I wasn't really that interested.
Yeah, but I really like his work. So he made this other this other manga. Fucking forgot the name. It's about a story about like this old man and this young kid, and they both like have military, like I guess they die and they turn into like military robots. It was just made into an anime recently. I forgot the name. Someone in the chat should know.
So I mean, mine personally is hard because I mean I know everybody loves Kingdom. I love Kingdom. I'm not even all the way caught up. I'm 40 chapters away, but I'm still in love with Kingdom. I think it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Kingdom greatness.
I think it's dope. That's just me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. We had a great combo here. I'm gonna wrap it up. But it was dope. Thanks for coming through, Rakim.
No problem.
I thank Black Manga Critic for coming through. Well, you too, Orpheus. It was dope.
Right.
Maybe this made me think that maybe it'll stem. Maybe we'll talk about some of the worst mangaka we've ever read the next time.
The only one I can think of is the obvious choice. Hiro Mashima.
No, I don't think he's horrible at all. I don't think he's horrible at all. Have you read Raid Master? That's really good.
I've heard that's good, but I haven't bothered.
It's a really well done story.
Fair enough.
The art wasn't that good compared to Fairy Tail, but the story was really amazing.
All right, but we're gonna get out of here. I thank all y'all for coming through. It was dope. Catch y'all when I catch y'all. Deuces.